Receiving. Assessing. Assessing. It is done, Lexico Arcanus. The tomb has been scoured of Necrons, and its capacity to reawaken more warriors is
an acceptable outcome, Magos Dominus. But all calculations indicate Hecateus IV is infested with many more such tomb complexes, most of which have yet to awaken. There will be more, and they must be eliminated in turn, as the Omnissia wills.
I see the desired broadcast of the Destroyer Lord's destruction has occurred. Prime Hermeticon.
Elimination confirmed. Guided by the Omnissiah's hand, the blade struck its alien head from its shoulders.
You would judge the mission to be successful?
Skitarii losses incurred, but the prey was taken, and seemed to be taken.
The Skitarii also desired combat data to be generated from this encounter, so they might more easily replicate it.
Combat data currently processing for dissemination. The spear, sharpened on the bones of every kill.
A dangerous enemy was indeed eliminated. If the morale and data benefits are realized, so much the better.
Optimized.
Transmit.
Call the heart.
Magus Dominus. Our Skitarii report we have established a foothold within the tomb of Vulcanset. However, certain variables are refusing to align with our dictated strategy.
As variables often do. For what purpose is the intervention clade called upon?
A tech priest manipulus named Iconaris is reported to have abandoned her orders completely. Cognitive breakdown is suspected. She is in command of a number of valuable Castaphron servitors, which must be returned to the fight. Furthermore, she must be prevented from doing further damage to the Skitarii efforts in the tomb.
The temptations of the Xenos can destroy the most faithful servant of the machine god. Selva Tenebris left me with direct experience of such a tragedy. My emotional cores register regret at the memory of my apprentice, Tiresias.
Cognitoanalysis postulates Archinaris' behavior may stem from corrupted augmentations, necroinfo hazards, neurological injury, or even mere battle trauma. Such faults are impious. If she cannot be secured for repentance and repair, you are to execute her.
Archinaris has been reported directly fighting with forward Skitarii units. Whether she is truly insane or not, she is to be considered a hostile. Our fallen Skitarii. Archinaris only left the area very recently. We must follow the trail of the dead. These must be Archinaris' servitors. If she is capable of deploying them to defend herself, she cannot have completely abandoned reason. We must break through them to reach her. To preserve the majority of these servitors for reprogramming and reuse, some of them will have to be destroyed. Thankfully, irony is a higher cognitive function, so at least some in the intervention clade will not be troubled.
The Omnisynod sends their executioner at last. Of course, it would be the forces of the vaunted Magos Dominus Faustinius. Are you here to offer me the mercy of a quick death? I fear it is a less tempting offer than you think.
The Omnisynod believe you're acting out of madness, but I know better. I have already encountered others like you on this planet. Stygians who seek to avoid the notice of Mars authority and pursue goals of their own. What are you seeking down here, Manipulus? What motivated you to abandon your orders and risk exposing your allegiance?
We were already exposed. Your own forces had identified and eliminated one of our frontline cells. I knew I had limited time before the Omnisynod began purging us systematically. But the wretched standstill of this tomb siege sabotaged all my efforts to escape.
Your own paranoia sabotaged your efforts, Magos. Until you fled, none suspected your true purpose on this world.
Then I gave the Omnisynod far too much credit. And you will never know my purpose, Martian, because one of us will die down here.
Manipulus, your servitors are inactive. You have no viable options remaining. Submit to judgment and attain some measure of absolution.
And what are my sins? To venture out of the abyss of ignorance? We are the true followers of the Machine God. The only heresy here is permitting the alien to hoard its knowledge, afraid of what we might learn. We could remake this galaxy if fools like the Omniscia did not deny to the human race all that begs to be discovered.
You are seduced by the false creed of the Xenonite and the heretic. Some knowledge should never be sought. Some experiments should never be conducted. This is the lesson learned from the dark age of technology. Through the horrors of the age of strife, I have seen the fruits of seeking the forbidden, and they are naught but bitter poison.
Spoken like a whipped cur. Spoken like a Magos of Mars.
My emotional centers return no hope remaining for Iconaris. She has abandoned all faith and reason. Our sacred duty now is to make sure her execution is swift and decisive.
Even now you resort to rote and dogma, Magos Dominus. Your troops are just more blinded fools kept in ignorance. How many lives have been wasted to protect your blessed ignorance? How many sacrifices have been rendered meaningless by the hidebound fools you serve? If I die here, at least it will be in service to the truth. Unalloyed, unafraid. This is no victory for the Omniscient, Faustinius. You can kill me, but the truth will live on. I would have preferred to die in Stygies 8, amongst the Omnissiah's true faithful. But the ever-staring Cyclops will not blink at my death. It still gazes, even into the abyss.
Life signs 0. Then her spirit is consigned to the motive force. As I feared, Iconaris was no victim of a malfunction, but one of the Stygian heretics. Tech Acquisitor, what are your thoughts on this development?
The heretics go beyond a single hunter glade. They have agents among the priesthood of Hecateus IV, too. Infiltrating a young Forge world so deeply indicates preparation. You will find no prior record of any agents from my homeworld achieving such a feat.
She spoke of seeking truths the cult Mechanicus rightly decrees as taboo. I have often heard such sentiments voiced by you.
My curiosity may lead me to the margins of the universal laws, but I have never been found guilty of motives unbecoming. My loyalty is a proven quantity.
Magos Dominus, has the renegade been deleted from the equation?
It is done. But this was no mere lunatic. Iconaris was from Stygies 8. Another example of wayward personnel emanating from that world. The severity of this infiltration is worse than we first anticipated.
Probabilities permit for some contamination of our forces from elsewhere. Yet this is beyond mere happenstance. An organized deviancy in our ranks.
Stygies 8's reputation is unorthodox, secretive, seeking proscribed knowledge.
Those Xenorite apostates, they seek to understand the alien, not just destroy it. An offense to piety and logic alike, but their Forge world persists in spite of such dark rumors is a stain upon us all.
All rumors aside, a subversive faction has clearly found purchase on Hecateus 4. We are not ignorant of the fact your associate, Tech Acquisitor Scaevola, is also from Stygies 8.
You yourself are aware of the value of Scaevola's expertise, Magos Biologus. But if there are other Stygians on Hecateus 4, I counsel we track them down and rule out any possibility of conspiracy. That such foulness of thought can spread on this world in the midst of a struggle against the same alien is an offense to logic.
Root it out, bring to light, and burn. Better they're exterminated than risk their blasphemy.
If it comes to that, the intervention clade stands ready.
The tomb of Ukensep is surrounded. Thousands of Skitari, battle servitors, Archaeopter airstrikes. But progress is slow. At this rate, eons-long tectonic activity will unearth the tomb's lower levels before our excavation engines do.
If Ukensep escapes, thousands more will be lost in hunting it down again.
Analysis indicates excavation engine activity is impeded by artificially induced seismic response. Localized earthquakes damage engines, threaten to destroy. Origin points triangulated, upper levels of tomb, location fought over by forward Skitarii elements. Posit single device generating seismic waves. Solution? Device must be destroyed.
Prefect Ordnance Row. Combat demolitions have become a speciality of yours. Can it be achieved inside a Necron tomb, beyond Skitarii lines?
All is possible. Much is unlikely.
Oversee demolition of target device. Follow the spearhead assaulted to the tomb. Effect destruction of Xenotech seismic generator.
Siege breacher servitors and sanctioned explosive competent menials required.
Granted. Submit effectiveness projection.
Within acceptable probability range.
Sufficient.
Acknowledged.
Depart.
Obeying.
Omnissiah be your guide, Prefect Ordnance.
One step closer to the
Marvels
machine.
we have yet to uncover.
Acquiring targets.
Coordinating data.
Obedience.
I detect the data set of the patience. Modus Venator. Ready. Patience.
It is done, Lexico Arcanus. The tomb has been scoured of Necrons, and its capacity to reawaken more warriors is nullified.
An acceptable outcome, Magos Dominus. But all calculations...
Latest combat operation concluded in the tomb of Ukensep. Principal objective of combat demolitions achieved. Secondary objectives of establishing forward footholds, fortifying supply lines, and minimizing casualties failed.
Can you verify the destruction of Ukensep's seismic device?
Confirmed. Frag drills report rapid advancement. Further tomb sectors unearthed. Skitarii missing.
Then Ukensep's hiding place is becoming less secure by the moment. Good work, Prefect Ordnant.
Link is insufficient. Additional magnetic drives required.
For the Omniscia!
Ultimate.
Studying.
Intel divinations have granted us an epiphany. The optimal time for a strike against Ukensep has arrived. The destroyers defending the Nihilark are pushed back, and the Skitari have advanced close to the sarcophagus chamber. Then we must press home this advantage. Many Skitari were lost in attaining it. The intervention plane is blessed with the honor of breaching the chamber and eliminating Ukensep. Your troop's specialisms and experience will be essential in negotiating the potential dangers of the tomb and executing the destruction of the Xenos. The objective is to eliminate Ukensep and confirm its demise. The Nihilark's fall could be the most crucial turning point in this entire war. It shall be done, Dogmatis Prime. The sarcophagus chamber. Ukensep can hide no longer. Ukensep's deviant war forms. Break through them and reach the Nihilark. Breach the chamber and eliminate the Xenos. The war on Hecateus IV hinges on this operation. Do not let victory elude our grasp.
A tide of filth seeps into my haven. The same filth that stains the surface of Kivroth. This originator of uncleanness, the fountain of all foulness. It is life, disordered and infectious. We have shed the ugliness of biological flesh. One world at a time, we shall make this galaxy clean. Our dream is of silence, a sterile and perfect vision. The very microbes on your noisome flesh shall know only extinction.
Even logic recoils before the alien's blasphemy. Destroy this abomination! labors never cease. Adeptus. Calculating.
Foulness rises all about me. I cannot fall. I will not drown in this tide of filth.
A teleportation device! Do not let it escape!
When next I walk our world, it will be to purify it with your extinction.
It fled. Their kind is arrogant and despise the concept of defeat at human hands. Yet this one was prepared for its defeat. Was it anticipating another foe? The Omniscient will demand answers, but I have few for them. Except that we have the Nihilarch on the run. Return to Ex Veritas and expect to be sent after Ukanset again, and soon.
Modus Venator.
and intolerant. Omnisire, bless our weapons and curse our foes!
Receiving.
One more diversion from the path of knowledge.
Closer to the machine.
Transmitting. Transmitting. Skitari Command Doctrina effective. Coordinating data. orders.
It is done, Lexico Arcanus.
An acceptable outcome, Magos Dominus.
Ready.
For the Omnissia!
Coordinating data.
Studying. Seeking specimens.
Magos Dominus. We have conducted a grand procedure Patefactio to process the data from the tomb of Ukensep. Thousands of neuro-tethered menials were arranged in the sacred polygons. 100 canto servitors chanted the Principe Edictivo. I was very aware of the scale of the operation, Dogmatis Prime. The chanting was audible across the Forge City. The volume of information processed by such a ritual is immense. Even Abbani's cogitator arrays cannot equal it. And a conclusion was reached that requires our immediate attention. The teleportive energy spikes from Ukensep's escape indicate the trajectory and displacement factor which allowed us to generate a destination. Ukensep was heavily damaged by our last encounter. Do we know where it has escaped to? The Omnissia has blessed us with a greater than 90% certainty of that information. You are to personally survey this location and ascertain if Ukensep is indeed present. If so, Magus Dominus, you will redeem your previous failure to eliminate it. Far away from any strategic location. If Ukensep has taken shelter here, it concealed its hiding place well. The Nihilarch will not relish leaving itself vulnerable, so expect heavy resistance. A single construct, and non-functional. There should be many more constructs. This construct was wrecked before we arrived. It is still showing residual heat traces. It was destroyed not long ago. The conclusion follows. Something arrived here before us. then we must examine this anomalous casualty more closely. Quantum state erasure, molecular dissolution scars, extra-normal radiation traces, unmistakably familiar. Whoever entered the tomb ahead of us was not of Adeptus Mechanicus origin. This construct was downed by Necron Gauss weapons. Necrons? Fighting Necrons? A worrying contradiction of our observations so far. Necron warriors, barely awoken. Did we wake them? Or was it our mystery invader? In any case, they are now our problem to overcome. If Ukinsep is still within the tomb, this is where we will find it. The destroyers charge! The risk is calculated, but a risk it remains. Let us hope these Xenos are driven by hatred for their traitor, more than by their disdain for human life. You are the Necron who breached this tomb before us. The Varguard, Nefashar. But your actions are incomprehensible. Explain your purpose here.
A witless question to ask the last loyal subject of Sankotep. Yet I will indulge you, Tech Priest Faustinius. For you have served my dynasty well since your defiance at the Ozarian. Like a trained beast, hunting down the usurpers to Sankotep's throne. This wretch was the last of their ilk.
I eliminated the enemies of humanity. That they were rivals of yours is an extraneous datum. This world has no throne for a Necron to claim. Hecateus IV is sovereign territory of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yet even a useful animal must be slaughtered when its purpose is complete. By all means, Faustinius, try to destroy me. You will save me the trouble of hunting you down myself. Rare is the foe who troubles the Sankotep dynasty as you have. Rarer still, one who survives to do so again. In service. Sankotep dynasty as you have. Rarer still, one who survives to do so again.
Receiving.
My lord Sankotep called you vermin, but you are more than that. You fight with cunning and resolve. The courts of the Necrontyr would have made great use of a servant such as you. But you are beaten, Invader, and you will not see another dawn on Givroth.
I do not die on a world called Givroth. I die on Hecatea's IV, a forged world of the priesthood of Mars.
To die in this tomb is a far greater honor, and one grander than your species could ever devise.
The Fargart, speaking like a conqueror, as if she is not a tool still wielded by a dead king. You have doomed this planet, Neversha. Only you Patridae could have kept these insects at bay. Without us, Givroth will be theirs.
Neversha, is it? Your usurper is not quite as executed as you believed.
By the command of Sankotep, this delayed execution is concluded.
Nefer was more concerned with executing Ukensep than eliminating me. Though I am loath to leave a mission incomplete, such good fortune is rare. It would be blasphemously inefficient to spurn it. Expedite those calculations. So, the usurpers are usurped. The Pharaon's Vanguard stands alone. This is Magos Dominus Faustinius. I am severely damaged and require extraction.
On our way, Magos.
This Vanguard, as you call it, it is a rank recognized among the Necrons. Akin to a bodyguard or a trusted aide. A clear choice to take over Necron leadership once all other candidates are eliminated.
It pleases us not, this claim that we have been pawns in a conflict between alien pretenders to a false throne.
A behavioral marker of desperation. Nothing more. As the faithless Xenos approach defeat, they turn on each other. We must exploit this disarray.
Let us hope we can.
The Pharaoh's throne remains undiscovered. The only logical haven for the Vanguard. Exhume it, and we bring them to the light.
Agreed. If a new leader has again arisen, we must simply destroy this one too, before its position can stabilize.
All iterations of victory require it.
Magos, your forces have experience eliminating such targets. Find the throne, find the Vanguard, annihilate both.
Magos, an opportunity presents itself. I conducted several excavations on Hecateus 4 prior to your arrival, and the planet's crust features multiple extensive and navigable cave systems.
Exploitation of such may not be tenable. Hecateus 4 is not known for its tectonic stability.
I believe if we can identify stable and defensible underground routes, they can be incorporated into Skitarii supply lines. Troops and materials could be moved with minimum risk of ambush.
I could take this suggestion to the Omnisynod, but I cannot make assumptions as to what their response might be.
Already done, Magos. The Omnisynod saw the wisdom of my hypothesis, and have granted me leave along with several labor servitors to pursue it.
Ever industrious, Tech Acquisitor. It seems the decision has been made, regardless of my input.
I have already identified a suitable testbed cave system under a section of Skitarii fortifications to convert into subterranean passageways.
Then go with the Omnissiah's blessing. But take care you accept no risk to yourself. Your expertise is unique on Hecateus 4, and may yet be crucial to the outcome of this conflict.
I have no doubt of that, Magos. I shall take great pains to ensure my own survival. You will not be disappointed.
to the machine.
Lying in wait.
Seeking specimens.
Call the hunt.
Omniscia, bless our weapons and curse our foes!
Transmitting. Processing.
Situation hostile. Calibrating orders.
Troublesome news, Magos. The kin are not as broken as we anticipated. Their forces are resurgent across Hecateus 4, striking at supply lines and isolated targets. A significant force has launched an assault on one of our facilities. It is their most determined attack yet.
The survivors of the Foebreaker's Fist seek revenge for the betrayal they suffered. The Omniscia decrees that for every action, there must be a reaction, equivalent in strength, but opposite in character.
Be that as it may, this is no mere lashing out in anger. They have committed in excess of 73% of their estimated remaining personnel. The target is Communication Array Eleusis 49 Omicron. The kin assault was reported shortly before the facility was cut off. It is too far from our lines for a conventional Skitarii response.
Then the intervention clade will respond in their stead. However, as you say, there must be more to this than an act of crude reprisal.
Their motives are irrelevant, but the impact of their assaults on our infrastructure cannot be overlooked. Leave immediately, Faustinius, before these abhuman insurgents vanish from our sight again.
No communications from the tech priests inside. The kin have succeeded in taking the facility, and we must assume the tech priests within are dead. Waste no time in retaking the nave.
Coordinating data. Situation hostile. Calibrating orders. Receiving.
That is the brain of the facility. If the kin have taken control of it, they could be using the comms array themselves. Advance immediately! The cogitator banks are a nexus of sacred technology. We could use it to our advantage in reclaiming the array. But the Omniscient may not look kindly on interfering with such honored machines.
Faustinius, the Oathbreaker. Your betrayal was not complete. You send your lackeys to see it done.
The dissolution of our alliance was regrettable, Lord Grimnir. But your belligerence has no purpose, save to ensure your own destruction.
You have earned a grudge from the kin, Tech Priest, and it demands settlement. Yet my kin do not fight here for mere revenge. They must survive. They must thrive.
She has adapted sacred technology of the array to send a message. We were right. The kin do nothing without purpose. She is summoning assistance.
Receiving. radiation and perspiration. Processing orders.
The facility has no value to the Grimnir now. If the kin still intend to keep us here, there must be a reason. The structure itself may have been turned into a trap. Lead the intervention clade to extraction without delay. If you can gather intelligence on the kin's message, then do so. But not at the expense of getting to extraction intact.
Your deaths are but the first installment of the debt to be paid. Necron and human will break one another in their war. Then my kindred will claim our triumph from the rubble.
We cannot let them trap us here. Breach their blocking forces and get to extraction.
Skitarii Command Doctrina effective. Coordinating data. Receiving. Situation hostile. Calibrating orders. Processing orders. Receiving. Ready. Processing orders. Send it. Ready. networking.
We were right. They have set the power systems to overload. The extraction point was just outside the lethal radius. One of the few pieces of good fortune in this whole affair. Magda sent her message. We have little information on the recipient or the contents. Any recoverable data was destroyed in the blast. The kin were thorough. Our survival must be victory enough, for now. Prime Hermeticon. The Scutari I ordered towards Scaevola have reported they are no longer able to track her whereabouts. What data have you brought regarding her?
Last verifiable sighting Scutari fortification, line Lambda 715. Ranger units report no physical trail. Noosphere scrubbed of data traces.
Could she have become trapped in the cave system?
No cave system extant. Geological charts tampered with. A false trail.
She has deceived and abandoned us. Worse, there is no doubt her absence presages an even greater betrayal. Recall the maxims of Archivex 512. Treachery is as an infection of the flesh. For where but one microbe takes hold, soon it will become a multitude, and a terrible sickness will follow. That is not certain. But my emotional partitions return both frustration and apprehension. In the light of the infiltration of our forces by Stygian heretics, we must assume the worst. She always sought knowledge of the alien. Forbidden knowledge prescribed by the highest magi of Metallica. Even now, the Xenarite could be selling our secrets to the Necrons in exchange for their profane technology, or conspiring with her Stygian cronies.
We all knew Scaevola was a risk. We accepted that risk because of her expertise, but this does not look good.
All of Hecatea's four will be alert to her disappearance. Wherever she surfaces, we will be ready to bring her in. Scaevola will answer for her desertion. If she has indeed strayed beyond the precepts of the cult Mechanicus, she will answer for that too.
Single target operational doctrina preloaded. Put me on the scent, and I shall bring her to bay.
If any pick up on Scaevola's trail, Prime Hermeticon, your hunt will be called. If pursuing her falls to us, then we must be without mercy.
Enemy is reduced to single point of failure. Vargard Nefeshar, sole commander, is priority target extremis. The prey is named. The hunters gather.
True. But our objective requires more than a simple execution. The location of the royal tomb is unknown. It shall be our task to follow every lead in uncovering it. The enemy will go to every length to ensure we fail in this.
The Necron's objectives will present a variable of their own. We still do not know where they will strike next. Ex Veritas again, perhaps. They may seek to strike at the Omni Synod directly. Then there are the Stygians. There is no calculating what they are planning.
Have faith in the will of the Omnisire, Subdominatus. The prognosticators of the Omni Synod will be building predictive models of the Necron's plans even as we speak.
Less than accurate. Margin of error wider than required for strategizing. Enemy obfuscates and deceives. Alien mind cannot truly be predicted.
Heed the words of Fabricator General Hermeticus. Question not the words of thy betters, for they speak with the voice of the Omnisire.
Fate of Hecate's IV depends on sound strategy. Focus on victory is not heresy.
Let the Omni Synod pursue their objectives. We must focus on ours. Nefershah is the target, and our duty is, as ever, the acquisition of knowledge. Any fragment of data might lead to its location.
Stand intolerant.
Transmitting.
By the machine god!
A data seance of Skitarii communications reveals a troubling pattern. Necron forces are redirected towards the Azarian once again.
We knew the Xenos would not be satisfied to leave the Eternity Gate in our possession. Now we must hold it without the kin to reinforce our defenses.
We must secure the Azarian against all Xenos, Magos, whether kin or Necron. Our strategic modeling confirms the probabilities of a successful defense improve by magnitudes if we can intercept the vanguard of the Necron force before it reaches the Azarian.
A sound stratagem, Lexico Arcanus.
One determined by the inescapable weight of logic, and one your intervention clade will execute. Depart for the mission coordinates immediately, Magos Dominus.
The Necron spear. This is our chance to blunt it. Elite-grade Necrons. Utilize every advantage we have. My rage and rad carbine. Cut them down! For the Omniscia! I sense Xenos corruption all about us. For the Omniscia! We have dammed the flood, but it will surge on soon. Reposition immediately!
Our data seance has unraveled a pattern among the Xenos movements in your area. A Necron sub-leader may be receiving orders directly from Nefashar.
If so, it would afford us an opportunity to determine Nefashar's location.
Indeed. Reach this principal Necron with all haste so we can confirm our suspicions.
We must not allow ourselves to be trapped by Necron forces. Close on the Necron leader with all haste. The Necrons are employing their superior numbers. Expendable warriors to absorb our firepower and slow us down, so the more autonomous constructs can bypass us. A strategy that must not be gifted any success.
Omnisire, bless our weapons and curse our foes! Obedience! Intensity insufficient. Maximizing zeal. Omniscia! Omniscia, bless our weapons and curse our foes!
can spend no more time fighting the legions. We must find their commander if we are to salvage any useful intelligence on Nefashar and the Royal Tomb.
Our Lex mechanics have detected high-level tactical responses recurring in the proximity of one of the Necron's battlefield leader constructs. This confirms it is in contact with a Supreme Command Unit.
The Necron commander is in contact with Nefashar. This is what we were hoping for. We must not falter. Truly esoteric Xenos technology must be present. Then our quarry is a cryptech. This will be anything but straightforward. Close the distance and allow no distraction. Due to their capacity to phase out of existence, the enemy cannot be captured, nor its remains acquired for study. It must be engaged and fought to destruction, and we must hope the encounter gives us the information we need.
Machine God's will. For the Omniscia! Omniscia, bless our weapons and curse our foes! Seeking revelation. Omniscia, bless our weapons and curse our foes!
wavelength and reception delay may indicate a range and direction. The data seance has routed all information regarding this command broadcast for perusal. If the origin point can be found, they will do so.
The enemy showed its hand in assaulting the Azarian. In doing so, it may have given us our best lead on the location of the royal tomb. Let it be the last mistake they make.
Magi of the Omnisynod, our goal is in sight. The data store recovered by Magos Faustinius' force indeed has the informational stench of the Necron Vanguard.
A strange creature, this Xenos. It emerges from the funeral pyres of its superiors to seize command, yet remains unseen by all save Magos Faustinius. It has been a cipher, an undefined variable.
The angles of attack are tallied, and they total 360 visions of victory. In the dialectic of triumph and defeat, we perceive a glorious symmetry. Magi of Hecateus 4, the equation is balanced.
Such florid expression, Forge Lord. To what do we owe such exuberance?
The royal tomb is discovered.
Are you certain? Have you performed the 37 rites of entropic vigilance to ensure information purity?
The royal tomb is in an uncontested region, hidden by its lack of strategic importance, desolate and unconsidered by any plan of action. Only now, data confirms it lies at the probabilistic center of all Necron movements and communications.
Then the data was indeed the key.
Most encouraging. We must exploit this breakthrough. What is our response?
Massive force. Dispatch the Skitarii to bring excavation engines to the tomb's location. Tear up the earth and expose its bones. Subtlety and theory have had their day. Now the modus must be of brute force.
The engines shall be awoken, their machine spirits exalted to their task. Our prayers shall fill the new sphere, and when the machines march to war, it shall be.